TV, NBS TV, NBS Music, You Get Tunes, Capital FM Uganda, the Beat Farmer. NBS. Always. Live at 1.
And thank you so much for keeping it NBS Television. Always welcome to NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Now, a reminder about your decision, your my screen, my rules. Now, every day we make choices about what we watch, what we listen to, and what deserves our attention. Whether you're following the news, enjoying entertainment, watching sport, or discovering something new, all of this is possible. It is my screen, my rules. Get that at your fingertips. If you are making a choice about what you watch, or because you have a lot to say with how things unravel. Now, go ahead, check out My Screen, My Rules. That is something we certainly can't wait to share with you in details. Just keep it NBS Television, because sooner than later, this will be your reality. My screen and, of course, my rules. All of that will certainly be getting us into our Live at 1 right about now. You are watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. The High Court in Kampala is set to sentence 9 convicts found guilty of the 2018 murder of Susan Magara. Before Justice Makay Ajiji, prosecutors urged the court to impose and has made a ruling in this particular matter. We take a moment to listen in to the proceedings. Dan Ayabade, many thanks for joining us. This has been quite the journey, and of course we certainly have an indication of what the conclusion has been or looks like this afternoon. Let's get into the details of what the judge has sentenced the convicts to.
Well, Tracy, I'm coming to you live from the High Court here in Kampala, and just a few minutes ago we concluded one of the long cases that have been going on involving the murder of Susan Magara, who was murdered in 2018. Now today, we've just learned, or just been told by the trial judge that 2 of the 9 have been sentenced to death, while the other 7 have been sentenced to life imprisonment. Of those 2, one of them is called Wembo Abasi, who is said to have been the one who cut the fingers of Susan Magara and also suffocated her with a polythene bag up to her death. The other one is the lady called Hajara Nakandi, who is said to have been there, and in the judge's words, who is a lady who witnessed a fellow female being killed and never did anything about it. But I'm joined by one of the counsels of the prosecution. Take us through the form and substance of this case. She's been in this case since around 4 years ago when the trial started, and I'm happy to let her, of course, explain to us how this has been for them. Well, thank you for joining us. If we can go directly into the gist of this, what are the grounds on which these accused have been sentenced to death and also life imprisonment?
Thank you very much. My name is Irene Chimbugwe, and I work in the office of the DPP. And I've been here with my colleagues, Joseph Chomhendo and Sheriff Andaranga, We are the prosecutors that were assigned by the office of the DPP to come and prosecute this matter. We've been at it for 4 years. 4 years is a long time. We had a lot to present. We had about 45 witnesses, and the accused persons had about 20 witnesses. So altogether, we had about 65 witnesses. That's why it took us a long time of about 4 years. So today, the judge has pronounced himself in respect to the sentence that is given. He's given the two of the accused persons to suffer death. That is Habas Musa Buvumbo and Hajara Nakandi. In his reasoning, he said that Habas did one of the most cruel things. He cut off the fingers of the victim, and she was held in captivity for 2 to 3 weeks. So we don't know whether he was administering painkillers, whether they were treating her fingers, and then at the very end, when they got the money, they decided to kill her. It was a deliberate decision. They injected her with ketamine and also put a polythene bag over her head to ensure that she was dead. So for that, I thought that was very cruel and gave him a death sentence. For Hajara Nakandi, because she was the only woman in the whole entire group, she was the one responsible for looking after her, Susan Magara. She was with her throughout the entire journey of her captivity. And when they were taking the decision to kill Susan Magara, she was there. She never really reached out to help her, and yet they had gotten the money. So the judge found that very cruel. And even in her testimony, as she was testifying, Nakandi, I remember very vividly in court, she told court that the Quran allows them to do things like that, which we didn't really believe that the Muslim religion can support something like that. So we thought, the judge thought that was a deliberate action from her, and she, according to the judge, deserved to be given the death sentence.
So we see the judge say that the proceeds from the ransom, I mean the cars and the land, can also be maybe confiscated and sold, and the proceeds given to the family of Susan Magara. What precedent does this set?
This precedent has been around. The judges have always ensured that actually people who suffer injury or loss, and it can be ascertained through evidence, can actually present to court that evidence, and then the court can reimburse them. So in this particular case, it came out in evidence that actually the accused persons, when they got the $200,000, they went ahead to buy land. They also bought vehicles. So basing on that, because these exhibits were actually viewed by the court, the very cars are actually parked at CID headquarters, and the land is also there in Buikwe as well as Luwero. So court has decided, by the evidence that was brought in court, these properties should be confiscated, valued, sold, and the money that comes from them goes back to the family of Susan Magara.
Thank you very much. Tracy and Audio, that is it from the High Court here in Kampala. And like she mentions, the other element of this is that the property that was acquired from the ransom that was got, which is $200,000 will be auctioned off, and the proceeds from that very property will be given to the family of Susan Magara. According to the trial judge, he mentions that these convicts shouldn't be able to enjoy the proceeds of their crime, and that is why he decides that this property be auctioned off. That is it, and I'll come back to you at the Police Command Center.
Well, thank you so much, Dan Ayebade, for that report. We will have more details on this in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, with humanitarian funding declining, Uganda is seeking sustainable solutions to support its nearly 1.5 million refugees and the population in Africa, the third largest globally, facing mounting pressure on host communities and essential services. Members of Parliament have pledged to champion refugee issues through legislation, policy and national planning. By Edgar Matthew Karhanga on this particular story. Edgar, many thanks for joining us. In terms of the priority areas the legislators have promised, what will be the implementation plan moving forward?
Thank you so much, Tracy. As you have rightly said, Uganda is housing more than 2 million refugees in the country. But of course, one of the biggest issues that has been raised today at a workshop here for legislators on the refugee issue in the country is that there is an unprecedented rate of reduction in the financing for these refugees. And yet, Uganda as a hosting community continues to grapple with serving. But of course, speaking at this engagement was the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwa, who said refugees are not just a crisis, they are more of a humanitarian issue. And as Ugandans, we should have what he described as Ubuntu, and an issue of feeling the pain of any other individual. And he also noted that we are just one crisis away or one conflict away from becoming a refugee yourself, or Ugandans becoming refugees. But right now, I'm joined by Maureen Osoro, who's the woman member of Parliament for Arua City. And this city is one of the cities that houses the highest number of refugees in the country. To just touch base on the reality on ground, her as a financing, how do you address it?
Yeah, thank you. My city, Arua, is actually one of the cities in West Nile. We know very well that West Nile is hosting of the region. So we are experiencing a lot. Arua City, we are having urban refugees who move from the camps and come to us to Arua City to look for better green pasture to come and stay in. And now you find the budget that Arua City has, especially when it comes to the issues of drugs and other things. It's a lot of pressure on the things, on the service delivery they're taken to Arua. We don't only do it alone. Arua City alone does not have the budget or the service to itself alone. We are actually sharing our budgets with the refugees. And these refugees are from Congo and also from South Sudan. I want to thank the government of Uganda for not being very segregative. Whoever, even us, we who are from West Nile, we have also been in that kind of situation and environment. We have also been once refugees, but we have understood that indeed these are our sisters and brothers who need support from this government. And now we are also asking, there's a lot of challenges. As much as there are a lot of challenges, when we want to address the issues of refugees, we can't finish it in a day. But at the national level, there are many new members of Parliament that we have on board. As much as we have a forum of refugees in Parliament, we need to lobby in a way that we need to pull more members to come and understand what are the challenges these refugees are going through.
Honorable. Very right, but there is an issue that you as the legislators, you're the ones who do the appropriation. So the need here is, do you commit to appropriate maybe extra funding for these refugees? Yes, they may not be from the community, but there is a need for more funding for them. You as Parliament, what is your commitment towards this issue?
Yes, these are our brothers and sisters. And if need be, if at all this comes to the floor of Parliament or it comes to Parliament, we are ready to support them. Because one, the refugees are not only, can I tell you, because even of their coming, I can assure you, there is a big development going on in the hosting communities as well. The roads are being improved, at least they're helping the government of Uganda. Even the schools, if you go there, the development partners are doing a lot, places where you see refugees. So for us, we are waiting at that level when the responsible ministry comes to seek support from Parliament to fund. For us, we shall be willing to fund at that level.
Thank you. That is Maureen Osoro, the woman member of Parliament for Arua City. Now, the other issue that was raised is creating sustainable solutions. There is when we give relief, aid for these refugees. But the question is, how do we sustainably ensure that these refugees are no longer going to be begging, looking for, relief and support, but a solution that will be equitable, but will be long-lasting and will solve the issue of refugees in the country. I'll be giving you more details in our subsequent bulletin at 4:30, NBS Amasengeje, and live at 9. Back to you, Tracy, at the Political Command Center.
Edgar Matthew Karhanga, many thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, moving on, the government's corruption campaign must uphold due process and protect citizens' rights. Vice President Jessica Lupo has told the ministers that are conducting local government inspections while backing President Museveni's Chisanja Hakuna corruption, a drive against abuse of public resources. Lupo cautioned that officials accused of wrongdoing deserve a fair hearing and should not face public humiliation before their guilt is established. On this story, we're joined by Ramson Mhere. Ramson, many thanks for joining us. In terms of the enforcement that is currently happening, why the caution now?
Good afternoon to you, Tracy. I think lots of things are happening. We all understand Honorable Balam Balgahara and Honorable Justin Namele have been traversing different parts of the country, checking out on how service delivery is being conducted by different local governments across all the districts. Wherever they have been, several addresses have been conducted. And of course, what is dropping now is we have all these cows, district accounting officers, city mayors, municipal division mayors, all gathered in Kampala. And I want to pick from the State Minister for Local Government, Honorable Justin Namele. Honorable, we have been seeing you moving around, meeting these people in their districts. But today you bring almost all of them in Kampala. Why this engagement today?
First of all, I want to thank the Vice President, Her Excellency, Retired Major Jessica Alupo, for gracing this event. She officially opened this workshop. This workshop happens every term. Kudos to Honorable Balam and Honorable Namere for maybe bringing more light, a brighter light to the ministry, because we're both public figures. But this workshop that is shocking you happens every other year, periodically, especially when the term of office, each Sanja, is starting. We always have a workshop with mayors, LC5s, cows, town clerks, RDCs. It always happens. So this gathering is not out of any pressure from anything. It is the ministerial work. It is the ministry work. Not
key priorities in this workshop.
So the key priorities in this workshop is, of course, corruption. We have all come to an agreement that corruption is affecting service delivery a great deal. The ideas that we have may be wonderful. The plans we have, the NDP4, the 10-fold program that was eventually made the 11-fold program when the president added my point of fighting corruption. All those ideas may be amazing, Musevenomics. But as long as we don't tackle the elephant in the room, which is corruption, we could hit a snag every other time. So right now we are doing a self-check. Some people are saying, oh, you see, the way they are handled, some of them are embarrassed in their cameras and blah, blah, blah. They are being fought by political opponents. But as long as you're clean, you can go through all of that. The thing here is we have institutionalized corruption. That's why we called all those sectors. I think that DSOs are actually around too. We have institutionalized corruption where even the person that is supposed to audit the other is also in connivance. So it is part of what we are discussing in the workshop is, can we go a stretch further in checking ourselves, in coming to terms with the fact that corruption must end. So corruption is taking center stage in our discussions. However, we have issues of the wage. It has also come second. In some areas it's been fixed, in some areas it's been enhanced, in some areas we're still doing badly. Then we still have issues of service commissions. There are so many districts and cities that actually don't have commissions, and they've been given a timeline to end of August.
As we wind up, the Vice President says that the way you handle people probably need to make them look like innocent until proven guilty. They are shaming. She was concerned and says probably you need to mind how you handle them.
I don't want anybody to misquote the Vice President's words. She said people are innocent till proven guilty, but she didn't say anywhere that don't arrest corrupt people. She has not said that. She simply said people are innocent until proven guilty. She didn't say when you find a bridge of 500 million shillings and there is just soil thrown in a river or a stream and the engineer has nothing to show for it, don't arrest him plus the person who actually passed the audit checks and said he has done the work, pay him. She didn't mention that. She didn't say don't arrest the corrupt or don't expose the corrupt. She simply said people are innocent till proven guilty. And I understand where she's coming from. Of course, sometimes the judgment is passed across by the public that maybe, oh, that person is a thief. But In terms of infragranto delicto, the legal maxim, infragranto delicto, which means caught in the act. Caught in the act. And because we have a campaign to expose, but to actually put the fact out there that this person ate money for 7 roads.
Well, Tracy, that's the statements for local government. Honorable Justin Namele speaking about the event today. It is about corruption has been at the center stage. Well, there are, of course, some issues being also raised by the people in this meeting. Some are saying that they could be using the meetings or the outreaches by Honorable Balama Namele to play politics by political people who want to target them. But of course, they are saying that all those are going to be addressed. The meeting is still on from now, from morning up to evening. And of course, for us, we are still here and we'll be bringing you details of the whole development in the meeting today in our subsequent bulletins. We have 4:30, 7 p.m. on Masengiji, 9 p.m. live at 9. Tracy, that's all that is here for now. I want to get back to you at the Political Command Center.
Thank you so much, Ramson Mahere, for that detailed report. Now, elsewhere, after enduring 7 extreme heat waves this summer, Europe is facing another consequence of climate change these days. Rivers across the continent are carrying little water, and it's creating massive problems for several industries. Lars Holter is with the DW and joins us from Berlin this afternoon. Lars, many thanks for joining us right here. Now, let's get into it. What's the latest on the water levels?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the latest is that things are just getting worse. We have seen low water levels in some of Europe's biggest and most important rivers for a few weeks now. But as we're dealing with heat wave after heat wave, and we have not had any rainfall in the last couple of weeks either, the rivers are really just drying up at a pace we haven't seen in previous years. Because we've obviously had droughts here before. We've had dry spells and low water levels. However, that usually came around the end of summer towards fall, and this year we're seeing rivers drop to absolutely critical levels, and in many cases below these critical levels way too early. 2 of the most watched levels, as a matter of fact, are the River Rhine in Cologne and then the Ruhr near Duisburg. That is particularly important because it sits at the heart of coal and steel country. Both of these levels show record lows.
Impact on the economy as we speak?
Well, the low water levels really impact a whole lot of industries. As a matter of fact, just now I ran into a colleague here at work who told me he's taking a river cruise up the Rhine in a week or 2. And as he told me, we both knew that that trip would likely not happen after all. So tourism is affected by the drought. But that is, of course, far from the worst consequences we're seeing. Way more important than tourism is, of course, shipping and logistics. Among the commodities transported up the River Rhine in particular are building materials like stone and earth. There's ores and coal, but there's also petroleum products and chemicals. So lots of industrial goods. And they are currently going on barges that can often carry only half their usual load. So for many industries along the line here, transportation costs are rising due to the distribution of cargo across multiple vessels. And that, economists say, leads to higher inflation. And it might even cost Germany the little bit of GDP growth that we were actually hoping for this year. And then, of course, there's also energy. France had to shut down 3 nuclear power plants a few weeks ago already because the adjacent river didn't provide enough water for cooling. And now power plants in Romania have been shut down too. And in Hungary, the country's biggest plant is down to 12% capacity and might also be shut down entirely if levels in the Danube drop any further. It's a terrifying prospect really for that country, because that particular plant provides a third of the country's energy supply.
Lars, that's quite extensive in terms of the ripple effect. The question is, what is government doing to alleviate this situation?
Yeah, right now Berlin is putting together a task force to deal with all the problems the shipping industry has, including providing additional port storage capacity for all these goods, extra rail capacity, as it's pretty clear that they can't currently solve the problem, but only really deal with it. Other than that, there's a broad understanding that not all too much can actually be done because we're dealing with the long-term effects of climate change. Here's a gist of it. Of course, climate change has not only led to hotter days here with more water evaporating from rivers, but also to melting glaciers and less snowfall in the Alps, for example, and other mountain ranges, which again leads to less water melting away in spring and fill up the rivers going north. So as the planet heats up, we'll likely see more droughts and experiencing more problems rather than less. And there aren't any short-term solutions available.
Many thanks, Lars, for joining us from Berlin, all the way with the DW friends of ours. Now, a reminder that you have the power to stay in charge with My Screen, My Rules. Get of course, the experience that you deserve. Of course, also consuming the content you want to consume, how you want to consume it, from where you want to consume it from, because certainly you should be in charge. Well, My Screen, My Rules will certainly make sure of that, because what you think, what you feel, and what you believe entirely also depends on what you consume. But who decides what appears on your screen? The answer is you do. And that certainly takes us into a very short break. NBS Live at 1 returns shortly with many more stories.
This is not just a run. This is a movement with purpose. Join us on 30th August 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the Cancer Run 2026, starting at 6 a.m. Also taking place simultaneously in other districts across Uganda for the completion of the One-Stop Cancer Center at Nsambya Hospitals. Registration is only 30,000 Ugandan shillings online using Gonza Pay. Gates are available at all Centenary Bank branches, Capital Shoppers outlets, Bread House branches, the Cancer Run office on Zimwa Road, Muyenga, the Rotary Uganda office at Nick Building, and Rotary clubs across the country. The Rotary Cancer Run 2026 is organized in partnership with the Parliament of Uganda, Centenary Bank, Crystal Water, and
NBS Sport, championing Ugandan sport.
it's been a long time coming.
It's been
And we've been cooking something big. Skyview and Swans Avenue proudly present Vinca Live and Loud. It's going to be an endless hit, tune ko tune on Friday the 21st of August at Lugogo Cricket Oval, where the experience is going to be like no other. Music louder, flavors harder, lights brighter, vibes bigger. So bring your crew and grab your favorite ice cold Sky View and let's get it on. So grab your ticket right now on the Momo app or dial *165 *20#. The Vinca Live and Loud concert is brought to you by Swans Avenue and Skyview. Skyview, more flavor, more fees, more fun.
The parent is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Ani Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha ngo isha watu yayewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana mashemero bagonka MTN momo eberewo mbeni nyigasta igana kaga ni 5 sta munana 0 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo mchisheri zagwisho wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Festival ya King Saha! King Saha fuza songa! King Saha fuza King Saha! Katana lumisiza Kololo! Mutoneke Kololo Festival! Gakumina nyanga 5,200 mukaga! Yonebe Kololo Air Strip! Poking mtwale bidi! Yepe mitwale tano! Emeze mkande musatu! Waluoina yobu tano! King Saha beko wale!
Sanyuka TV, NBS TV, NBS Music, Uganda Tunes, Capital FM Uganda, the Big Farmer.
Billions are invested, promises are made, projects are launched. But what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public fans delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda. Auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
Welcome back. You're still watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansibe. A reminder that you are in charge, especially if it is what you are consuming in terms of content. Wherever you are or whatever you're doing, you get to decide what you watch, because suddenly what you consume has a bearing on what you think, what you feel, and what you believe. And you should have the power to decide what should be playing on your screen, when it should be playing, or how you should be consuming it, or who should be in charge of that. Certainly should be you. So be sure to get on with the program, because it is your screen, it is your rules, and we're making sure that that is truly observed. But before we get into the stories, yet again, a reminder of what is currently playing across our other platforms. If you are certainly, with Afro Mobile, you'll be able to catch the NBS Live with the Education and Sports Committee before, members of Parliament right there. And so committee sessions continue on NBS Live, while Sanyuka TV has Music Jam. Go ahead and get involved and enjoy your music right there. NBS Plus has Snack and Vibe. Catch the vibe on NBS Plus. That and much more across our other platforms. But moving on, the government has reopened the Mugoba Katugo gold mining site in Kasanda district, granting artisanal and small-scale miners a 12-month grace period to comply with licensing and regulatory requirements. Mining had been suspended since March 11th to strengthen safety, environmental protection, and legal compliance, disrupting livelihoods for more than 3,000 miners and businesses dependent on the site. On this story, I'm joined by Fred Sewaje. Fred, many thanks for joining us. How has this been received by the communities in Kasanda?
Thank you very much, Tracy, and good afternoon to you and our viewers of NBS. We are coming to you live from Kasanda here at Mugoba Katugo. We are with Dr. Mukasa Fuluje, who is the chairperson for Mugoba Katugo Small Scale Miners Association, and with me are the artisanals who are very, very happy after receiving a letter from the Ministry of Energy granting them 12 months grace period as they continue to explore. Doctor, what does this letter mean? You've been spent 4 months without exploring. What does it mean to the people and the artisanals?
It means so much. One, for this community that we represent, it means that they are going to go on and complete the exploration process and fulfill the requirements. But also, as they do this exploration, they get something small for their livelihood. To this community, it is a livelihood restored. To the ministry, it is a step forward in formalizing this community. And to the wider nation, this is a landmark case where the ministry is walking the talk on formalization of artisanal and small-scale miners. We need to be nurtured to grow from where we were. We are operating illegally. But now, when we come to operate under the law, there are stages taken. We don't have the money, but we are the community, we are the people who have sacrificed to come into this trade that no one knows about. We are making it visible and attractive for so many to come in. And after we've come in, many of you will see it as something obvious. So we want to thank the ministry for taking this initiative to allow Mugowa Katugo to resume its operation. This is what the entire ASM community in the whole country needs to be nurtured, because we are the sector that produces 90% of the export. We need to be supported. We need to be nurtured. The ministry needs to handle us with the soft gloves. We are very happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tracy, and our viewers. We more from that. We can be and live at 9. I can assure that we have been with Dr. Kalimani Fred, who is the head operations minerals in Uganda. Thank you very much. Let me get back to you at the political command center.
Fred Sawaj, many thanks, and we await more details on this particular report. But moving on, MTN Uganda has released its 2025 sustainability report, reaffirming its commitment to transparency, responsible business, and sustainable value creation. The report is the first of the companies that has aligned with the IFRS sustainability disclosure standards and was independently assured by Ernst & Young. Board Chairman Charles Mbide said it reflects MTN's commitment to strong governance, accountability, and long-term sustainable growth.
Through established governance structures, the board oversees key sustainability priorities, monitors progress, and ensures that environmental, social, and economic considerations are integrated alongside growth ambitions and risk management objectives. Our sustainability efforts are anchored on 4 strategic priorities, which are planet, people, doing right, and growth. Together, these pillars guide our contribution, creating shared value, and support our purpose of enabling the benefits of a modern, connected life. Through continued investment in digital infrastructure, financial inclusion, environmental stewardship, and community development, MTN Uganda is helping to accelerate Uganda's digital transformation and expand access to opportunities for individuals, businesses, and communities across the country.
The fact that MTN Uganda is already embracing these reporting practices demonstrates its commitment to market readiness and its recognition that transparency and forward-looking disclosures are becoming increasingly important components of the corporate value creation.
We are building something that can last. It's not something that is temporary, but something that can last. Sustainability is actually a very, very critical strategy. And I have to say that sustainability is not about philanthropy. It's not about having conversations on how many trees we have planted, how many checks we have given out. These things matter, but sustainability is much more. It's about being able to build a business that is able to continue to create lasting value in spite of the uncertainty that we all know the world is facing today.
As we come to a conclusion, a reminder of who is in charge, because certainly it is you. Now, every single day, we make decisions and choices on what we listen to, what we watch, what we consume. And because of that, we have an exciting new campaign, My Screen, My Rules, will just make sure that you are in charge of what you consume, how you consume it, and what you experience with your screen. And that will certainly finally be happening with My Screen, My Rules. That brings us to the end of NBS Live at 1. For more on these stories, do join us in our subsequent bulletins, starting, of course, with our 4:30 news updates. Later, we'll get into NBS Masengeje at 7 p.m. and, of course, NBS Live at 9. My name is Tracy Kansime. Have a good afternoon and do stay with us because up next is Lunchtime Sport with Fifi Pinky and Stuart.
NBS. Always. Brought to you.
Now Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the makers of Pepsi.
Nabalala abagenda maaso kwa matugoberanga benyaniriza banafe abali ku NBS the big political command center tubakulisayo mu live at 1 ino bwebudde bwetogerako obwemizanyo era amawulire getogerako simarungi abwatu bamazo kusinza ku mawulire agava ku ddwaliro ne banafe tusobodde okwanga tufuna batutegeeza nti David Owori obulamu ayinza okwetogera kakati takyalina nga bitongera ofuna amawulire agava ku timu ya AC Villa abweto kigambibwa nti yagwiriddwako amechogerako banobo basanga bisibe nga bayizo kwayogera matching wakati wesawa ebiri abamanyi obulungi ennyo wakati wa landmark ne papa sport yao ebizibu ne byagwiridde wakati wesawa ebiri abweto nasasenga injuries ezamisizo obi naddala ku mutwe era bweto naddusibwa bunnambiro ku ddwaliro oba oli abintu bitagenze bulungi erya case clinic tukyalinda bulinzi ebivaayo ne bawulye sibalungi agava obuyo obwo kibi nnyo ddala Captain AC Villa, my God.
David Owori colleague, Owori colleague. Then you know, ye Rogers. Watu wabulemezi Rogers ekyewunyisa abadde yakaddamu okubeegattako mu second round eyakazanyiwako game egi najja nga baagala batereze kuba bulemezi abadde ekola bubi batereze defense kuba bumanyi his leader biki then after collusion nekia goalkeeper nagwa ku ttaka okugwa ku ttaka and there were injuries sustained ezabadde zirabika nga ziri minor but after going to hospital naye akomyewo ng'obulamu takyalina.
So we mourn
it's a sad day for sports
bannange eri bannaffe obwakabaka bwa Buganda ndira nga tuyita mpaka ez'amasaza ate mugeremu ne famire ye ey'omugenzi twongera okuwasaasa setondwa mu mbeera esinga okuba ennaku ennyo kwegamba byebigambo si birungi naddala ku sayidi ebyemizannyo ebyo nga bikyali bwe bito nga tukyagera maaso n'okubategeeza nti byonna ng'obikola tubajekiza bujekiza tumirabira twambula bannaffe Coca-Cola abongera okutegeeza mu mbeera esinga okuba ey'amaanyi okyasobola okwanga omuwanguzi otya wenyino ekyokunywa ekya Coca-Cola okuva ku myezi 3 oyinza okuba omukwabo tunula QR code tunaswa akacokolo QR code escanninga ejasobola okwanga ekwanguza ensimbi esoda mu kakadde akalamba ate bannaffe etwogerako aba Coca-Cola as we prepare for the big run about the big cancer run at 30th this August tusigaza ennaku mbale atwogerako okwatuuka ku nnaku mulindwa why not so let's be part of the team osobola okwanga to creating that awareness
but as agenda njagala okugamba abannayuganda mu kaseera kano tutuuse ku era nga gwosalawo kyolaba oyinza oganjaga kulaba bya mizannyo oyinza okulaba njagala kulaba mawulire
ku screen yo.
Yes. Oyinza okugaa nti nze njagala kulaba abaana bato ba pulse gw'osalawo kakati kyokola mu kaseera kano londa ekikukolera mu ngeri gy'osingira ddala okuba kyova olaba amasimu kati abagakola screen bazigezza abamu screen ziringa za tablet ziringa za palmtop n'abalala nene bweziti nga bw'oziraba kati nange nina byendaba wano naye naawe gw'obulina obuyinza era lindirira kuba next media erina kyesabuukulula mu bbanga sitinitini gy'oli yonna you're the one who decides on what content gw'ogenda okukonsuminga. For instance nze for Sky kuliko mupiira na cartoon
bas nga tunatera kwanga tugenda okumulamu amawulire ge tulina gekokuba nti yaliko kapitani wa tiimu Uganda bwetyo yabitadde naga nti nambikoze oba oliawo kyenkoze kimala nga mwana yayimba King Saha bwetyo osobola okwanga ndekera oba olawulawo omukulu nga simala gwetwogerako ye Emma Okwi ajjukirwa ennyo naddala mu ggwanga erya Tanzania n'okusinga ate gye bamuzaala bwetyo olw'ebyaffe byasobola okwanga agenda maaso okwanga akola n'omuzannyo gw'omupiira Emma Okwi kitumujjukiramu bw'otunya kaliya ye bwe kyatandika bw'otuna tiimu ya SC Villa gye twogerako bw'otuna omupiira bwasobola okwanga aguzanya ddala ku tiimu y'amasaza ga Buganda yatusavinga ku saza ly'e Mawokota ani byagenda tumujjukira nnyo nnyingi eddala abyagenda maaso okwanga akola ani kiri kitugambye nti ajjukirwa nnyo ayagalwa nnyo etanzania n'okusinga ate eno gye bamuzaala
nakyogeddeko nga nkola entandikwa ku NBS Sport for the NBS bwetyo TV abatwegaseeko that is a former Ugandan captain but once a captain always a captain era yatadde omuko gw'ebbaluwa officially bwetyo nga gulinako kyoyinza okuyita watermark ate nga gulinako ne logo ye kiraga nti kyabadde kiveeriye era tujja kuba tusomako awo ebitintindi ku byagambye nga he has called it on time azannya okumala akabanga Wikipedia egamba alina emyaka 33 naye kuviira dda kuba Sports Club Village abantu we baamulabira mpola then n'agenda ku tiimu ya Simba ye mutendereza nnyo n'agenda mu Told Sahel in fact y'omu ku bantu abasooka oggulwa ssente ennyingi Told Sahel eya Tunisia in fact ebizibu byali mu transfer eyo era wano jjo juzi nga engineer Ben Misaga akomyewo ku Villa lwe yasobola okusolvinga n'abaako byasasula ebyatereza naddala nga n'okwi yali akomyewo mu Villa n'agenda kati naawo yava mu Told Sahel n'akomawo ku Villa then n'agenda mu Young Africans n'addayo ku Simba n'agenda mu Sonansk teyalwayo nnyo n'akomawo ku Sports Club Villa n'addayo mu Simba agikubidde emirundi 3 ne Sports Club Villa emirundi 3 n'agenda mu Al Ittihad n'agenda Kiyovu Al Zawura Abil SC then up to bwato Kiyovu buterevu nnyo where joyinza okubanga tracinga his current whereabouts and for Uganda Cranes wano officially balaga emipiira 95 I don't want to confirm that kuba ebya Uganda birala nja kudda mu nfune kyobe ajijo 95 and they are confirming 28 goals ekyo bukulu didi thank you so much ne tujagenda maaso nga bwogambye but that is Emmanuel Arnold Okwi ayina baganda be nga Francis Olaki n'abalala balina mu byemizannyo bagruminze in fact lumu nina quote gye namuwulira agamba temundabanga mwe mumpita hot pepper naye Olaki ajja kuba mulala Olaki yali wa mukulu Smart Obedi ku Sowana before it became Torino
teams 10 zasodo kwanga savinze na dan professional journey byasodo kwanga akoze so tujja kumugamba nti urugendo urwadde rungi nnyo ddala era tumwebaza byasodo kwanga savinga emirundi esatu omuntu akubuza kicho singo kwa the X factor jomujukira
the X factor free kick he was a free kick specialist that is 1-2 nga bagukwata akumako Okwi kati because yali mulungi mu musanvu mu modern football mune bamutekanga ne mu 11 kyokka yali versatile nga nasobola kuba 19 neze kyemujukirako kuba Villa engineer Ben Misaga najiri kumpi nnyo mu kumukomyawo okwe nga game ezigaana abagaba mubaleke bazibire nze mumpe free kick naje kuba ndi was a leader ekintu kye yali nanga wakwata omupiira I know kuisako speed merchant 1-2 guys.
All right, that's Emma Okwi for you. Wait to tujakumwagaliza time itenunji nyo dala. But for now we take a short break. But when we come back, of course, to inamoli manji nyo agagene maso mu front season zona. But we are sponsored by Coca-Cola. Let's take a short break.
Let's take
Now Boosty! Funa Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the makers of Pepsi.
Who are you? I'm Fake, the boss king.
Oyagala gold rush wakwe. Oyagala red rush wakwe. Ulira boosty, ulira. Funana, funa boosty.
Funa Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting energy drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the makers of Pepsi.
Experience the ultimate in bathing luxury with Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap. Choose from a variety of refreshing types, including menthol, antibacterial, ice cool, blueberry, coconut, and raspberry. Each one promises an upper-world refreshing feel that redefines your experience with bathing. Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap, the ultimate refreshing feel. Distributed by Chapa General Enterprises, located at shop number 3, Rafik Building, Chikoba, Kampala. You can find Lanzo Luxury Bathing Soap in shops and supermarkets nearby.
August 2026 is here! And Yada for Life presents Mujatu Sinze 2026 Nsima Edition on Saturday 29th August 2026 at Imperial Royal Hotel with a lineup of heavenly voices and ministers. Are you grateful to God for what He has done and accomplished in your life? Do you have a reason to ultimately thank God for? Get your deluxe ticket for 30K, gold for 50K, platinum for 100K, and the table at 2 million. Doors open at 4 p.m. Buy your ticket at Unique Uniforms, Uganda House, and at House of Rest, former Fido Dido. For bookings and reservations, call 0760-595-316 or 0708-766-536. Mujatu Sinze 2026 Nsima Edition, and proudly sponsored by Yuga Tunes, Afro Mobile, Yuka TV, and NBS Music.
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Appo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Appo is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Appo today. Appo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
Remember the songs that made you sing, the moments that made you dance, the voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace Live Concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Alibud tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace Concert is sponsored by
Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the
nawe ali eyo ng'ogoberera ebigenda maaso mu nsi buvunanyizibwa bwo okusala okukiikyo oyagala okwanga naawe olaba abeetu naffe tugenda maaso n'okwanga tukuba biki ebigenda maaso omusika emizanyo kimera stuart fifi na pinki abeetu nga twogera ku nsonga esinga okwennyini mu mulege twogerako ku mulundi guno naddala club zammwe enganzi ne coca-cola ttiimu ya arsenal wetwogera kakati yandibanga kakati esigaza obutundu busirikitu okuleeta omuzanyi Bruno Guimaraes okumujja mu ttiimu ya Newcastle United nga bagamba ye potential ye muntu gwe bagambye oyo gwe beetaaga okubanga obaoliawo epeesa bongerako byatandikanga ebisaaga wetwogera kati ebbugumu lyeyongera okulaba nga adiru eno egwa eyokuleeta Brazilian Bruno Guimaraes okusobola okubanga yegatta ku ttiimu ya Arsenal olweyamboza ene n'aba nkulungo y'aba Brazil Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Hegels bonna bali awo and team ya Arsenal egambye fetuze.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes, Arsenal was very intentional and ekirungi tebambana ekito kyange nekiyinga ekinywedde Coca-Cola kiwoomerwa kisanyuka naye pardon me for that mpola mpola nsonga zijja kulabika twajja gamba omwana ono ku political command center alabisa ati ndi mukukungubaga kakati ng'ekyo tukiresaawo that is the player Bruno Guimaraes the Brazilian of course Brazil baba n'amannya mangi
obukadde 75 ba pound
Arsenal nze kyenjagalako nti Arsenal negotiates nefuna omusambi bwetyo mu sente zoyinza okulowooza nti ze zisinga okubanga ntuufu otherwise senga ebadde ttiimu ndala badde basobola obaguza omusajja oyo ku sente nga ziringa obukadde 10 n'okweyongera okusingira ku negotiating power Arsenal yali emwagala naye neetalaga nnyo maddu they didn't sound desperate naye kye baakola ne bamatiza omuvubuka nti gwomanyi kyoba okola kiri kimu okwagala gye tuli kwongera okulaga era Newcastle yali forced ogenda maaso okubanga emugamba nti addeyo ku Lwokutaana training ene ttiimu tayaddayo Olw'omukaga ne Sunday ne baddamu ne bamuwandiikira abantu ne bamugamba Bruno Guimaraes Rodriguez Moura nga omanyi aba Brazil nti komawa nekisooka omuvubuka ono alina emyaka 28 mu mipiira kye bayita peak egye emyaka peak years ez'okusamba amaanyi ge gali luddawa he's an all round midfielder that is one short passes azisobola long passes azisobola then ekirala asobola okulemera omupiira he can shoot n'ekisinga kyemanyi Arsenal kyebadde lacking awo was character and leadership.
Yes.
Arsenal have Odegaard, he's a captain.
Oyakusitula
he's a captain naye you can be a captain naye nga toli aggressive. Odegaard obola nyamaye nti mutini ekitona akirina ebirala birina but you never see him even go to referees obagamba nedde ekyo kikoze eki that commanding figure. Declan Rice would naye olwokuba nti abadde box to boxing emirimu mingi olowooza nti naye olumu naconcentratinga era ebya amband nakola ki n'atabi concentratingako nnyo the other person would be Zubimendi alabika afa nnyo ku mupiira okusinga ekintu kyakati in Guimaraes they have a leader, they have someone ina character etiika they have someone who is aggressive balina omuntu asobola okusitula refu si kirungi nti refu bamusitula naye orefu gwasobola okugamba let me give benefit of doubt mu 50-50 nti bakoyo kubanga they shove them around mu makati venga yakicomplainingako naka naye abasambi abamu beetaaga twala mu kaduukulu bino bye batuyisaamu so in Bruno Guimaraes nze kulwange endowooza nti Arsenal have the ekisooka omupiira agumanyi naye ebiseera ebisinga abantu bamanyi omupiira just like we've said it's about so many players the question is how does he fit into the team?
Bebuuzo ebyo ekyebuzo still inaba signing esembe ku timu ya Arsenal tulinze bulinzi obukadde 75 bwa pound ngava mu timu ya Newcastle wabula mu mawuli amalage tulina abantu Diamond omuvuka adanyira mu club ya RB Leipzig asobola kwanti yegase ku timu ye okusinza ku muli getufuna ayegase ku timu ye mu season camp ngabo izo pre-season camp so ngabo iso kwangu ngalinda bana bagamba waiting for permission to have a medical with Real Madrid. The deal which is close to be being completed is said to be a club record sell for RB Leipzig. The amount of transfer to Real Madrid will also become a record fee paid for an African surpassing the 75 Arsenal paid for Nicolas Pepe. Okusinza kubigera maso kati wetogera kakati yali eno Madrid badde lindidde dire itam teitam kireka wa timu ya Madrid
ambassadors ba Africa wadde amanya tebogogera nnyo ye Jose Mario Felix Mourinho buli tiimu gyabaddemu abadde agezaako abafirika abasinga Mourinho temwamumanyanga mutaputa wa Robson ku tiimu ya Barcelona abasinga mwamumanyanga Mourinho adidde Claudio Ranieri ku tiimu y'abanafu aba Chelsea ku Stamford Bridge yali ey'omugaga Roman Abramovich era bwe yajja ne ba Rui Faria aleete ba Ricardo Carvalho aleete ba Ferreira kakati kye yakola buli tiimu gyabagwera ba tiimu z'abadde agendamu ne Chelsea yennyini Michael Essien still calls Mourinho taata Mikel Obioyo agenda olw'okuba yakola podcast n'agenda nga ne Mourinho okimanyi yakwata Adebayo n'amutwala mu Madrid nga bamu bakyagamba Gravensen agenda atya Madrid bakyebuuza abantu abamu Mourinho yakwata Emmanuel Shea Adebayo n'amuteeka eno yandi Diamond si wagwanga lyerimu n'Adebayo mu Ivory Coast
Adebayo wali wa
Togo Diamond wa Togo
ono Diamond wa Ivory Coast
anti ne Gundi wa Ivory Coast Didier Drogba Didier Drogba Didier Zokola nedda Emmanuel Shea Adebayo nkugambye genda Madrid naye Didier Drogba kuba Mourinho yakola ki yamutendeka nako nnyonnyonyo obadde mutuufu wali eri naye the question is nze Diamond is a player buli team gwe yagala okufuna however ekintu ekigenda okusinga okunnumya omutwe is him okumugula obukadde 10 n'omusobyo temungamba nti siri African ndi African naye obuzibu bwe nnina nti bwe bakugula ssente ezo they ask Gundi Nicolas Pepe yatuka n'agamba banejjukira Arsenal nakatiloza bakyagibanja abaliri yatuka nega ne ssente ze bangula abantu nga bamanja bingi kakati bwe buzibu obuliwo Diamond ekitona akirina isile promising player akyakula omusambi yenna below 22-23 ng'akyaye mulungi naye nze ezo ssente Mourinho yagaana ko gula Luke Shaw Chelsea ng'agamba mutajja muwa ssente ezo muto ate nga ye muzungu ku mufiriko ono atuwadde guarantee ki nti omwana waffe tebagenda kugamba abafirika balimba babba emyaka bakola nga Cyrus Mamanga itukwa fundi eyali mu Stuttgart yalimba emyaka
twagala basindika mu setteeserezo we Uganda bweto parliament fembozi yeyongere ku NBS Sport of course
parliament etese ku bisasiro
parliament butese ku insecurity so for now tugamba ati katubalekere parliament then fe tuyongere badde okyayogera
NBS TV ebyo twagala NBS
obadde okyayogera ku
by NBS
Now Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting from the makers of Pepsi.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free on fire, free on fire, free on fire.
This year's maiden grand gospel show is the Mascot Live in Very Well concert. On the 14th of August 2026, it's going to be the Mascot Live. Bounding us with this great gospel music at the Ndere Cultural Center. Entrance is 20k and 50k VIP. A depot goes for 2 million. Get your ticket today from carrytickets.com. For more information, call 0702-832-568. Sponsored by NBS Music, Sanyuka Afromobile, Jeff Godwin, Newman Foods, QC Restaurant, Pal Automotives, Crown Japan Katwe, and Stream Road Safaris.
On Saturday, August 15, 2026, Radio Wala invites you to celebrate India's Independence Day with a monumental broadcast you cannot afford to miss. The Saturday Wala show proudly welcomes a truly distinguished guest, His Excellency Upender Singh Rawat, the High Commissioner of India to Uganda. Join the phenomenal hosting crew, RJ Raj, RJ Amitesh, Mr. Paresh Mehta, and RJ Tarun for an exclusive deep dive conversation on India's incredible journey of independence and the flourishing diplomatic, cultural, and economic ties between India and Uganda. Tune in live on Saturday, August 15th, 2026, starting 10 a.m. on Radio Wala, and watch it on NBS Live, exclusively on Afro mobile app to be a part of this conversation. Don't just hear about history, be a part of it.
Uganda clear process ekutusako bayibiri namatuvu atuse mukapala ku Serena Hotel ngabiri muri mu August mushoja atumye strong woman live ofeyire mitwalo 10 yepe mitwalo 15 ku gate alebadi mitwalo 10 ate meza ya milioni 3 ticket zito ndiwa ku passport ku John Kala Solutions na ku Serena Hotel wanyene ureri namatuvu yasinga mu chabaita authentic Ugandan rhythms enkuba ya Afro pop egate ngoma ya wana nechidongo uneri Afrima award winner best female artist for East Africa choreography yairi namatuvu screen stage namatara abiri mu August Serena Hotel mwana watu naba mwerekedeko fogo karepita bimami bidye be strong woman because sentence chikazi twagala byana byeskoba bimadulo
kyoza sentence wawereza ku simu zabadde mu ekicupuli ky'etaano werezindala
twagidwa KCB Bank Newman's abakola bumpati Victoria University Uniform Pepsi Mount Caleb International School Bwalula Viniva Logistics Afro Mobile Nesanyuka TV.
There's a generation of Ugandans that have seen or interacted with a computer or mobile phone in an advanced age in their lives. Some of them even at the university, or even for some very unlucky ones, at their first job or employment. And that is the narrative we seek to change through this program.
UCSAF has had 3 phases. Phase 1, which was majorly focusing on voice access. Then phase 2, which was about data-based connectivity and enhancing usage. And 3, which was emphasizing more broadband connectivity and content. And under these, we've been doing skilling for different categories of people. These are small, medium enterprises. We've been doing skilling for farmers, teachers, persons with disabilities. We've also been training the youth on multimedia. We've also trained the elderly. We've also trained women.
By implementing strategic programs and initiatives, UCSAF focuses on expanding connectivity, enhancing digital skills, and promoting the development and consumption of ICT content and services in unserved and underserved communities.
Mwishongozi wawe ririye nabasuba kweshongori Yachitaguriye tuletera Kampala omuli Serena Hotel ebiro 10 tubikome n'umwaka utandikana shamwe emiryango neza kuba yigwirwe